How to be more effective during lockdown is something you really need to consider, and I'm going to share with you in this video how I plan to be more effective. You know, how I can make sure that I'm maximizing every opportunity, taking the most amount of time to get stuff done. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about to make sure that you can do the same thing, because it's going to be so easy to fall back into the old habits, to make mistakes, to get into the routines and the things that drag you down rather than lift you up. And I want to give you the opportunity to make sure that you are firing on all cylinders, that you're maximizing every opportunity over the course of the next few months, making sure that you are not missing a trick, you're not leaving any stone unturned. And as I've spoken about in previous videos, everything starts with the mind. It starts with getting your mindset in the right possible space. But being more effective in lockdown is making sure that you're more productive during lockdown, but not just more productive, making sure that the work that you do is the most efficient and most effective. So I'm going to talk to you about that in today's video. So how to be more effective during the course of the next lockdown. My personal belief is that this lockdown is going to last until Christmas. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think that's what's ultimately going to happen. And I think the most important thing that you can do, which I've been guilty of not doing efficiently and effectively over the last few weeks, is block chunking time. Now, if you've never heard me speak about this before, it's making sure that you put the most important things in your diary first, making sure that you actually chunk in and make time and allocate time and prioritize time for the things that are most important. So to give you an example of this is actually an example that a good friend of mine and productivity expert Emma used, and it was the school analogy. You know, I've got 3 kids, and 2 of them are at big school and 1 of them's at nursery, preschool. And when you go to school, you arrive and you have a specific lesson for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then you have a break, and then you do another hour or 45 minutes. You know, and the day is broken down into little chunks and little blocks. And 1 minute you're on maths, the next minute you're on English, the next minute you're on business studies, maybe not an under 8-year-old, but they should be. But you know, everything is structured and automated. You do swimming, you do PE, you do religious studies, you do whatever it is. But for that specific time, you are focusing on only the task that you have in hand. You are focusing only on the actions that help you to move forward and get a better result. Now, more often than not, you can end up, and I'm guilty of it too, being a busy fool. Have you ever been a busy fool? You know, you get to the end of the day and you go, what the hell have I done today? Because you just ended up getting bogged down in emails, paperwork, pushing things around, not actually focusing on what is going to move the dial and the needle on moving the business forward. So I think it's really important, particularly as we move now into lockdown, that we prioritize the things that are most important to us. Because what's going to be most important to you is going to give you the motivation and the inspiration to do more of the things that you love. I'm guilty of prioritizing my work and my business first and forgetting to really allocate time in the diary for, you know, friends, family, whatever it might well be. And even fun, in actual fact. But when I look at what's most efficient and what's most consistent in my day, it's my gym routine, because it happens first and it's done every morning. My social media, partly because there's a needs must there. It's the way in which I built my brand and my business. And you should be doing the same thing too. If you're not doing video and producing content and making time for social media, it's because it's not structured and planned in your diary. Marketing is the most important thing within your business. But also, what about sleep? I go to bed at 10 o'clock. I generally wake up at somewhere between 5:30 and 6:30. Then I go straight to the gym within sort of half an hour. Your sleep is always chunked in your diary and you prioritize that. But are you making time in your day for relationships, for nutrition, for your health, for gym time, for meditation if that's the kind of thing that you really want to do. If you put it into your diary and you stick disciplined to the routine and the habits, then actually you begin to make time for the things that are most important to you. And then you will get more done in your day, and you will have more for the time with your partner, with your kids, with your loved ones, with whatever it might well be. And I'm a massive fan of structuring your day and your diary in this manner. And I've got certain things in my diary that are very structured, and I've got certain things that aren't very structured. But what I'm starting to do is even allocate time where it can be, for just free time. In essence, I will do the work that I need to do during that time, and I will decide it during this hour. Phone goes off, emails down, I'm focusing on a task which might not yet be decided, but I'll look at my to-do list and I'll choose something to do in that hour. It's about putting your values in first, because you're supposed to, and I love this analogy that I heard from, I want to say Chris Rock, but it's not Chris Rock, the guy who always has banter with The Rock. And he said, you need to be married to your family and date your work. And that has really resonated with me, because I know from my 14, 15 years in business that there has been massive periods where I've definitely dated my family and been married to work. Now, I'm all for a lifestyle business. You need to have some sacrifice for short periods of time in order to get long-term results. Short-term pain, long-term gain. You go through a period of sacrifice to come out to give you more freedom and results. CRM system, recruitment and training, all these things that go in. But you do it knowing what the end result and the end goal is. And if you think to yourself, oh my God, this is causing me so much anxiety and worry, I can't structure my day like this. I just can't stick to it. And you need to add some spontaneity into there, and you need to add some fun and some freedom. Then what you need to do is plan that in. We always do on a weekend, we always structure in time with the kids. And that's time where they get to choose what we do during that time. My phone's not present, my emails are off, the TV's not there, and sometimes they might choose to watch a film. But like at the weekend, they wanted to play Monopoly. And that's just, nothing else matters other than that focused time on that specific activity based on their values, and that's completely spontaneous. But the thing is if we didn't plan that day in the diary, then things would go awry and amiss. So as we move into this lockdown 2.0, this secondary lockdown that's probably going to carry us into the new year, I'm taking the worst case scenario that this is not going to be 4 weeks, this is going to be 7 weeks right up until Christmas, maybe giving you the opportunity to get some shopping done leading up to Christmas, but as a means to get retail running again is what I really mean. But if you focus on the input, on what you need to do and what you need to get done, then the output naturally follows. The only thing that gets results is action. So if you were to map out your diary, there's going to be days, particularly if you're in the financial services industry, particularly if you're a mortgage broker with lenders, solicitors, and all these things that get potentially in the way. But if you chunk in your time in your diary and you allocate out the things that are most important to you, whereby you have time for your partner, you have time for the gym, you have time to eat. I eat at specific times during the day so that I'm consistent. Time to have fun, time to go and see your friends, time to meditate if that's the thing that you want to do, and then you put that in. The thing that's going to happen is, rather than getting demoralized, losing focus, losing energy, losing the will to live in some respects as we go into lockdown, seeing nobody again, you're going to be prioritizing those things, making sure that you've got Zoom time with your friends, making sure that you've got Zoom time with your family, making sure that you're just allocating time for the things that are most important to you. Focus on what you need to do and who you need to be, and the output will naturally follow. If you know that you need to get more work done, then work out how many hours in a day you want to work. Because realistically, we all know that when we go on holiday, we've all been, I'm sure you can relate to this, but when you go on holiday, you manage to cram a week's worth of work into 1 or 2 hours. Sometimes you might even cram, into less time where you really need to. But if you can focus on those kind of results, it's much better to work less and be more productive in those hours than spinning plates for multiple periods during the day. So I hope this has given you something to think about. I'd love to know what your feedback is, whether this has been valuable to you, what your biggest takeaway has been. I'm definitely going to get back to really chunking out my diary and really making time for the most important things. You know, breaking it down into marketing, breaking it down into strategy, breaking it down into relationships, extra time with the missus. Generally that's in the evening. You know, picking up the kids from school, all of those things, which is really good because at least this lockdown 2.0, you know, the kids aren't going to be off, it seems, and that gives the opportunity to drop them off, pick them up, take that extra break that you need. But focus on, as we go into this lockdown, making sure that if you can't go to the gym, go for a walk every day, go for a run every day, do some squat jumps and star jumps in the garden. You know, stick to the routines and the habits that make you happy, because this is the thing that's going to carry you through, and it's going to help to focus your mind in moving forward. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in. Louise, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Would love to know what every one of you thinks of this and whether it's been beneficial for you. If you have any other questions or what other live content you want me to do, because then I can produce more content for you to help you through this time and to help you stay motivated and inspired and taking a shitload of action, because that is the only thing that gets results. Have a fantastic day. Remember, now's the time to become pro.